KNAC.com. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for checking in. Francisco here. Considered the icon of evil, his unapologetic anti-Christian stance has earned him the respect of a legion throughout the whole world. They are about to release Lucky Number 13 album, Banished by Sin, coming out in a couple of weeks through a new label, Reigning Phoenix Records. Ladies and gentlemen, Glen Benton.
How you doing?
Good to have you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. So much to cover, so much to ask. But first, let's talk about the new record. You got to be totally stoked to release such an amazing record. I had a chance to hear it, and songwriting, the production, the ideology behind it, just amazing stuff. Tell us your thoughts on the record.
I'm just, I can't wait for everybody to hear it, man. I've been sitting on this for a while, and it's been hard to try to keep it under wraps. You know, everybody did an amazing job, man. We had a lot of fun doing it. And everything was just, timing was perfect on everything, man.
Very cool. And you have one of the many things I love about this is that you have 12 tracks here. Not nine with an intro, 12 solid tracks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, breaking the mold of all this like current, like let's just keep an album short. It's like, no. You said fuck it all, 12 tracks. Here it is. And some amazing
everybody wrote 3 songs for the record, so it makes it easy that way, you know, and you got 4 songwriters writing a record, you know.
Very cool. And you have Taylor Nordberg, who's it's his first album with you guys,
right?
Yeah, and he contributed and you also have Karen Quiron. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's his third album with you guys.
Yeah, that's Kevin Quirion. Yeah,
Quirion. Thank you. The solos between both of these guys is just intense. Like, just it meshes so well. So props to like the whole writing, the whole songwriting, and everything is an amazing record. What are some of the favorite tracks for you on this one?
I got a bunch, man. I mean, I like Ritual Defied. I think that's a great song. I like them all, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody did an amazing job. I can't really put my finger on one of them. It's one of those kind of records. The more you listen to it, the more you can appreciate it.
Totally. And then I was able to read some of the lyrics, and I love some of the lyrical content. I wanted to ask you, "Woke of God," is that kind of a self-reflection of, you know, you pretty much are outspoken on your whole stance, but is that kind of Glen Benton just speaking?
Yeah, that pretty much. Yeah, definitely.
When you mentioned,
that's one of those songs where it's, you know what, I don't know where, what, how, it just came out. The whole cancel woke thing and all that shit, and I was just like, no, it was kind of really like how I am, you know, portrayed in by the, you know, the cross, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I kind of just, I don't know, man. It was like one of those kind of songs where it's like it had some personal, deep shit for me, you know.
And I totally.
What I'd say is kind of like therapy, almost, you know. Therapeutic to put something like this together, you know what I mean? It's like you're able to do it at your own pace and you know, and make it what you want, instead of having, you know, a record company breathing down your back pushing for it. And you know, you don't have, we had no obligations to anybody. We were out of our recording contract, and we're like, hey, let's put together a really heavy record, and we really didn't put any, you know, thought much into pleasing anybody but ourselves. And
good,
I think it paid off.
Good. And like I say, we're our own worst critic, and I'm glad that like you were able to just take your time with this. Or when did the songwriting process start, and then how long was the recording process?
It started right around when COVID was starting to hit its stuff. Wow. I mean, we had songs, you know, everybody had songs, you know, that they've been working on and that, but it wasn't like when COVID hit, it was like, well, there goes all the tours and for the Overture album. So we were like, my agent and people were, you know, coming at me with the whole Legion thing. And so in between learning the Legion stuff and because we like a challenge, you know. So between that, we
Mhm.
were writing the songs
Yeah.
as we were learning the Legion stuff, and I don't
Mhm.
know, it's kind of that vibe going on, you know.
Yeah, certainly. I could kind of feel elements from all your albums on this new record. Like it's like from Once Upon the Cross to, like you mentioned, Legion. Like I feel like all these elements kind of
Right.
are tied into this new album, which is, I think, again, it's another one of the characteristics that makes it such a, like a phenomenal record. I'm going on record right now and saying it's like one of the albums of the year for me right now, man. So
Right on.
great
Thank
stuff,
you.
good stuff. And you mentioned Legion. I of course had to be there last year. You guys, I'm in Los Angeles, so you guys came through LA. I believe it was August last year, and I caught that amazing set, man. You guys sounded super tight.
Yeah, man, we have shoot, an incredible team of people now, and
Mhm.
everybody's just like, yeah, we're like definitely, man, on the top of our game right now. And we
Yeah.
played Philly this weekend, and we just
Mhm.
totally placed pieces, man.
Right on, fuck yeah! And I was able to catch some video on good old YouTube of some of your show, and yeah, I was I wish I could have been there, man. But I'm glad. And the speaking of the Metal and Beer Fest, you apparently released a beer, a stout, I think.
Yeah, they had I think it was called the Light
Uh,
Defeated.
Light defeated stout, yeah.
Uh, I think it was only in draft. They didn't even have cans of it. So my guys
Ah.
went to go grab some. They're like, no, it's on draft. And I'm like, okay, well, just take a picture of the spout.
Bring the whole keg, fuck it, man. Yeah, yeah. Are you a beer drinker? I mean, a big beer drinker yourself?
No, man, I don't. I drink Grey Goose.
Grey Goose and vodka, man. All right, all right, all right. Yeah. Well, I was glad to hear that it was a stout. IPAs are plenty, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
I'm a,
I was. I used to drink beer, man. So I mean, I have an idea of like what beer should be, and
yeah,
um, I'm not into this whole thing today. These new, it's like, man, I like, I look at that alcohol content on the bottle before I look at anything else.
yeah.
Yeah,
And this one I think had like a 6.66 APV, which I was like felt
right.
it was a hit. So very cool.
It was a fun weekend, man.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. And then aside from that, you guys are going to be doing the upcoming Milwaukee Metal Fest, which it's fucking pretty badass that it's back. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, we played the first few of them, man. It's gonna be fun. I haven't been to Milwaukee in a while, so it should be entertaining, man. I'm looking forward to it. We only get to play a 40-minute set, so I'm gonna probably crack some in there and some of the old fade before we get kicked off the stage.
Yeah, that's a stacked lineup, man, from beginning to end. And then you guys are also going out to Finland for the Helsinki Metal Fest. That should be awesome.
Yeah, we got a bunch of festivals set up for August, September, July, August, I believe, and then come back and tour the states and Canada in September. And yeah, man, we
Awesome.
got a full schedule. Hopefully, nobody goes and brings any kind of pandemics around. That was pretty horrible, man. It's like for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
every time me and Steve get ready to strike, man, it's like something happens, man. So this time, I think all the stars are in alignment and the universe is at one. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Fuck yeah, yeah. And I can't wait for fall to roll around. I'm definitely going to catch you guys again. Definitely want to hear some of these songs live. Again, we're talking with the man himself, Glen Benton. They're going to release Banished by Sin through Reigning Phoenix Records. Tell us about the label. That label is quickly getting a lot of attention, man. Tell us about it.
Well, it's Gerardo from Blast. He used to work for Nuclear Blast, and Gerardo, his brother Oscar, and man, they've hired Sven, the owner from Germany. Dude, listen, it was a credible team of people working on that with that label, man. And I am overly impressed. And it was, we were able to score a one record deal, and our contract is one sheet of paper, and hey man, it's simple, and you know what? Let's drop a really good record on everybody, and they want to push the band and propel us to where we need to be, and everybody's just doing a fantastic job, man.
Very, very cool, man. And it goes back to what you're saying. I guess you got a little bit of a, it wasn't much of a pressure situation. You guys were able to work on your own and just, I guess with that, you were able to just put out this great record. No, nobody breathing down your neck, right?
I kind of think, man, you know what, this far down the road, you're like, you just, you do what you do and you hope for the best. And after this many years, you're just kind of like, after, I mean, listen, I'm not Michael Jackson. This isn't, I mean, I'm no Taylor Swift. I mean, it is what it is, and to be still doing this far down the road, it's more fun for me than anything else. I mean,
Good.
so I'm just glad that we're able to still do this, and to bring a record of this magnitude
Mhm.
this late in the game, and the fact that everybody's appreciating it, I think that's the biggest payoff for me is, the comments and that people are making about the record, and yeah, man,
Mhm.
we really appreciate it.
No, of course, man. Like I said before, it's like you've earned that respect. Even you know, decades ago. We're talking over like 35 years that you guys have been the name Deicide has been around. So I mean, I would say after the first record, you gained a tremendous amount of respect, man. So like, cheers to you and the whole Deicide camp, and from all the fans, thank you for just being the face of just like, I gotta say this, man. When I was growing up as a kid and I'm like getting into death metal, you know, definitely Deicide was one of those bands that like made me question things as like other shit around me. I was like, the fuck is this, And then your stance on like, fuck Christianity, fuck religion. And I started to adapt that. And like even to the day now, like, thanks, man. It opens your mind, it opens your eyes up to like, to question things, right? That's kind of the idea, right?
Well, man, that's the whole, like even, with the new artwork, everybody's all, it creates controversy, man. That's what I'm
Mhm.
all about, is making people think, and
Yeah.
this whole thing, the record, and that's the next, for me, it's the next chapter of my life. And that album artwork represents like the new Deicide with the new medallion, and
Yeah, mentality.
for me, man, it's like there's, it's deeper than, what people think. And
Mhm.
I always like to do things differently, man. Every record I want, I can't just, I mean, I guess it's because I'm a Gemini or whatever, but I
Mhm.
follow footsteps, man, on
Mhm.
anything that I do, so
Mhm.
I'm always stepping off into areas, and sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't, sometimes I piss a, but I want people to think, man. And that's what I try to do is, and then with the lyrics and that, it's dark poetry. It comes
Yeah.
to me. I don't know where it comes from and that, but I hit on a lot of things we all think about, So some of the things that I've said in my are one time or another.
The cover artwork in amulet form. Man,
Right.
that is just simply gorgeous, man. Simply fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
That have you held one? Have you held one? It looks like it weighs kind of hefty.
I've got one coming. The one that Nenny put up, man. That's the one he's going to use for the for promotion and stuff like that. That thing weighs over 200 grams of silver. It's huge,
Nice.
man. It's like I think you said it was like 300. It was huge, man. And I'm like, I don't have the neck to hold that shit up anymore. So I was like, can I just get a regular size one, man, please? So
Yeah.
yeah, man, he's an incredible talent, man. He designed the artwork, and he's from the
Mhm.
same village as H.R. Geiger, man. So he does a lot
Oh,
of special effects stuff, and yeah, man, he's in Dubai right now. He's like really, man. He's like a real life Jay Peterman, man. He's just everywhere in the world and
mhm.
exotic places and that. He's incredible. He's an incredible talent, man. And to have him as a friend and to work and what he does is anybody's expectations, man. Incredible. It constantly impressing me.
Part of the team that you said, like when everything's aligned, it just
Yeah, man,
created this,
got a
this
great
perfect record, man.
everybody that we got now, man, is just incredible at what they do. And
Mhm.
everybody brings something different to the table. And when you bring it all together, that's what you have now, man, is with the new record.
Very cool. And talk some more about like the team behind the console. Like, who did you work with in the studio?
Jeremy Kling, from Absence and the Human Condition. Him and Taylor are both engineers, and we
Nice.
recorded at Jeremy's house. We wanted to approach it with more of like a live demo kind of approach,
Awesome. Very
and
cool.
it was just turning out so fantastic. We just kept going with it, and
Yeah.
before I would let anybody mix or master it, I had to make sure they weren't going to fucking destroy it, because um,
Yeah.
we had a couple of test mixes and that we weren't too impressed with them. But Josh was, able, for me to be able to communicate to him what I wanted as little as possible, and to keep recording there, because we went with uh, real amplifiers, real heads, real guitars, real microphones, and we took it, like you would, recording back in the old days with everybody
Yeah.
recording, and so, and went with more of a live drum sound than we did with a sample drum sound. So it
Mhm.
gives it that, like, you're in the room feel, you know.
Through 3 decades, you've seen the change, the transitions from like analog to this whole digital, the
Right.
overproduced stuff nowadays, and you're going back now, kind of a raw feel. Like, how was the adjustment from, early on to the analog to like now this modern technology and now where you're at? Like,
Well, I remember when like Pro Tools, all that stuff entered the picture. I remember that day walking in the studio and going, what the hell is that?" And but yeah, this is the new technology, and even then, it was really, the first Pro Tool stuff was pretty barbaric. You had this big, huge control panel you had to, maneuver around, and but now they've simplified it to the point where a 13-year-old kid can, work. It's I've
Mhm.
got a Pro Tools on my computer, and I mean, it's a tool. I mean, if you use it as a tool, I mean, that's, one thing. But that was the whole intention of it back then, was to just use it as a tool to make things a little bit easier. Now
Mhm.
everybody wants to completely rely on Pro Tools and all of its plugins and everything, and
Yeah.
it just sounds like one-dimensional elevator music to me. That's why I just, the last couple of records, I hated my bass sound, because I'm,
Yeah.
playing through a piece of outboard gear on a rack, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
plugins and shit. So I just really just wasn't happy with it, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I wanted a different direction. I didn't care where it went or what happened. And I just knew that we had to change something, man.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
really, doing it the way we did it with Jeremy couldn't have worked out any better. I mean, he did a fucking amazing job, man.
Fuck yeah, Jeremy Kling, drummer turned singer.
Yeah,
And
well, hey man, believe it or not, he can play everything, man. He's a very, very faceted individual, man. When it comes to,
apparently an engineer too, so that's something cool.
yeah, man, he can play guitar, bass, drums, whatever, man. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. He ain't scared to at least attempt anything. I mean, I give him, that much, man. He's a very outgoing individual when it comes to nothing, nothing stops him, man. And I like people like that.
Fuck yeah, man. Trek forward, man. But we're talking to Glen Benton about Banished by Sin. That's going to be out April 26th, again, through Reigning Phoenix Records. I got to say, man, thanks again for your time. As you're growing up, the Tampa Bay, Florida death metal scene is like about to brew. What was going on with you? Like even before you picked up the bass, what was it that made you just go this direction with either just your vision, your perception, your stance on anti-Christianity and death metal? What led you down that road?
I had always, I say, man, from ever since I was a little kid, man. I remember. I mean, I even have it in my files upstairs in my boxes, and I was asked as a small child, man, like when I was like, shit, man, 12 years, 11, 12 years old, whatever. They asked me what I wanted to be, and I put down exactly what the hell I am right now. So I had a long-term goal, man. Even when I was a little kid, it's what I wanted to do. I grew up, man, watching, bands and listening to all kinds of music. And I was exposed to music at a really young age. My uncle was a drummer. The
Oh,
old
right
man,
on.
he had guitars hiding in the closet all the time. And I was around that a lot, and not that that did it for me in that, but like I say, when I was a little kid and I heard Sabbath the first time, it was all over, you know, it really was all over, man. I remember being at the breakfast table, 7:30 in the morning with my boombox blasting Paranoid at my mother. And yeah, yeah, I was, yeah.
That's very cool. I love that. I love that. Like it all leads back to Black Sabbath. I'm a big Black Sabbath fan myself too. I even play in a Black Sabbath tribute out here too. So I love Bill Ward's drumming has been a great influence, especially like Steve Asheim's drumming. Amazing fucking drummer, man. So I'm glad that you guys still have that formula that's working to the day. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I was a huge Sabbath, Dio, huge Dio fan, man. I've always been right. And
Mhm,
that era of metal and that Priest and all that stuff from that era, man.
mhm.
Metal was metal back then. You know what? Metal right
Yeah.
now, it's like there was, you have so many like subcategories of metal now. It's like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, everybody
Mhm.
wants to. I understand individualism and that, and we could really use a lot more frontmen like that, like Ozzy and Ronnie and all them people and Lemmy and that. We don't have that anymore. All we have is a bunch of
Yeah.
wannabe Weezer looking dudes, you know what I mean, trying to play metal.
Yeah. All the long-haired guys are gone, man. You and I were
Yeah,
still,
everybody's
fucking
sporting
fun.
black frame glasses and wearing trucker caps, and nobody nobody gives a shit about imagery anymore. Looking the part of metal and that. It's I just think I walk around 24 hours a day looking what I can't shake it, man.
Fuck yeah,
But
dude.
I'm
Hell
never
yeah.
gonna fall into that. I'm gonna wear. I've always been that way too about the guys on stage, man. You're not gonna come out there wearing a fucking plaid shirt and white tennis shoes. It's not happening.
Yeah. But even like to your point, I feel like extreme metal has gone the way of it's too cliche, it's too gimmicky is the word I'm looking for. Too
Right.
gimmicky. Like I
Yeah.
feel like you were talking about Pro Tools as like where bands are using it as a crutch. Now I feel like all these gimmicks where all these get-ups and these masks and has become a crutch to hide like that. Just point straight up like that the music sucks. So we gotta use this crutch,
Right.
all these gimmicks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
DSide's
Well,
never been about that.
I gotta paint my face up, or I got to throw on some Halloween mask, and I've always been like, even from the beginning, man. I mean, yeah, I've worn armor and mask and shit like that, but I did it in a way where it was surprising to the audience, not that they were expecting it. You know what I mean? It's like to come out there aren't expecting it has what more act than wearing it every performance, you know.
Okay, yeah,
So
totally, totally.
I was all about just trying different shit every time I like different shows and I play pull out some different armor or mask
Yeah.
and that, but to do it every night, or I had the
Mhm.
armor out and I was wearing that
Yeah.
stuff and that, and it's fun, man. You know what I mean? But to do it, you wear it every night, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. For the D-side stuff, I'm probably gonna break some stuff out here soon. But to do it every show, no. But maybe a Halloween show or do somewhere or whatever, and that come out with the armor on. Yeah, it's still
Mhm.
in the cards.
I know.
But I
Kind
think
of
our music speaks for itself, man. I mean, I've always been,
totally.
and I've told a lot of like younger bands, man. It's like focus on the music first. The gimmick can come later.
Yes, yes, yes. It should be like an
Once
add-on,
you,
not
once you've got their once you've got their attention musically, I mean, anything you throw at them from there is just icing on the cake.
yes. Yeah, very well said. Totally agree, bro. Hell yeah, very
But
good.
you're gonna come out there in your Vans and your skateboard shorts and and try to throw down. Yeah, come on, man. I mean, put a
No,
little
I was gonna
effort.
take you seriously.
A lot of these bands today don't even want to rehearse, man. They send the shit via email. Here's my guitar part. It's like, come on, man. We get together every week, every Thursday, and we
Good.
blow through a couple, 2-3 hours worth of rehearsals, man. And that's
Yeah.
why we have to keep things the way we do, is that we put the effort into it, man.
Uh,
Even down to the writing of the record, every little thing I look it up on the internet, so I'm not copying other people. So I put in the effort. And
very cool.
even the title. I mean, I I that's my Banished by Sin is my shit, and for me, I mean, like when it comes to titling everything, when I get a title in my head, I look it up. I put the effort in. I go look it up and say, "Oh, is there any other bands with this?" And if I
Mm,
do find one, I go, "All right, well, on to the next idea."
yes.
But keep it
Good point.
original. It's like strive for perfection at least. I mean, so you can maintain originality. Because if it's, I mean, nobody wants to put in the effort anymore, and
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, I highly agree. I totally know what you're saying, man. Very, very true. Good, wise words there, man. Wise words. You mentioned the mask thing, that once in a while. I got a flashback. I was luckily enough to catch you doing a double set with Vital Remains and DEICIDE
Right.
back in the day out here in Hollywood at the Key Club that's now long gone. Do you remember that show?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Any thing in the works for bringing back Vital Remains?
Ah, dude, that horse is done fossilized.
Very cool. Good. I'll focus on Dia's side. Banished by Sin coming out in a couple of weeks. Amazing fucking record. Top uh, on the list for best of 2024. Before I let you go, Glenn, tell us a little bit of the history of the branding of the inverted cross.
Oh, I was christened Catholic as a child, and as a form of I just kind of like considered my way of removing it, and yeah, it's I gotta say, man, I've gotten a lot of I've gotten a, I've gotten a lot of in the way of press and controversy and all that over me doing it. That, but I got a lot of laughs, man, going to the grocery store with that thing all scabbed up and that. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I had a plastic surgeon tell me, I was talking to him. I go, hey man, do you think you could ever fix that? And he goes, why would you want to fix that? That's cool.
Right on.
But that was like a lot. I was like, well, you know what? If I got a plastic surgeon telling me that,
Yeah.
I used to tell the kids, it's like, Dad, what's that on your forehead? I'm like, you know what? You know when they tell you don't run when you're inside? I was running inside church and I smacked my head on a cross, and this is what I've gotten for the rest of my life because of it. So don't run when you're in the house.
Yeah. Clever. And that hit woke you up, man. That woke you up. Woke of God right there.
Yeah, man. It's my third eye.
There you go. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. And what happened to the branding iron? Is that still around somewhere?
I think I had a bunch of them made up, and I was selling them as souvenirs for a little while. And that's just a simple silver chapel cross. I have a tool and die set, so I would post into it and use it as a branding. The time I did it, I could literally see the white of my skull, so I backed off because I didn't want to. I could see nerves and stuff, and I didn't want to like create some kind of a weird fucking twitch on my face or something, or like have my forehead sideways because I hit a nerve, and now I got a permanent M on the front of my face.
Nah, it did well, man. Did well. And again, Glen Benton, Banished by Sin, out soon through Raining Phoenix Music. At April 26th, go to DEICIDE Official for those pre-orders. Glenn, thank you, man. I can't thank you enough for the 3 decades worth of amazing music, for your stance on anti-Christianity. Fuck all religion like that. When it creates evil man, truly those are the icons of evil. Is there anything you want to tell the God-fearing man, the DEICIDE fans, the Glen Benton Legion? Any last words?
I say I can't wait for everybody to hear the new record, and I won't think anything bad of you if you embrace it. It's just there for your entertainment purposes. So I hope everybody enjoys it.
Very, very cool. Again, thanks again. Hail and horns to the DEICIDE camp and everybody at Raining Phoenix. And again, thanks for your time. Banished by Sin coming soon. Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Take care.